If you're the kind of person who reads fiction in order to escape from the world and to feel there's going to be some hope, a light at the end of the tunnel, some kind of grace delivered from above, you are going to hate Rabbit Redux by John Updike. So the plot centers around this former basketball star in Brewer, Pennsylvania named Harry Angstrom. The first book in the series, Run, Rabbit, was all about the beginnings of his marriage. Rabbit Redux is about a crisis in the middle of it.
What have the pig laws ever done for you except screw you into a greasy job and turn you into a gutless creep who can't even keep your idiotic wife?
John Updike's style is brutal, unsparing, and detailed. It sometimes swims and swells in a very poetic way, but very rarely.
He takes her wrist. It is fragile, chalk. He wants to break it, to feel it snap. He wants to hold her absolutely quiet in his arms for the months while it will heal.
What's great about the rabbit character, Harry Angstrom, is it's very close to the author. John Updike grew up in Berks County, Pennsylvania, very much like the town of Brewer. John Updike was married twice. His first marriage broke up in 1974, and it is probably not an accident that this novel, which was released in 1971, deals with a troubled marriage.
You think you're playing a great game of happy cunt. Well, let me tell you something. My poor dumb mutt of a wife throws a better piece of ass backwards than you can manage frontwards. Backwards is right. She can't stand facing you.
Updike claims to be a religious man, and I think part of what he's trying to do with this novel is imbue the mundane with divine beauty. But in my view, he is too cruel. This book is unflinchingly horrible to everybody in it. I think Updike has actually gone too far and has ended up painting a picture that is inaccurate. There's rosy cheeks and smiles and teeth gleaming and sun shining, and an author who misses that is missing a quarter of the pie at least. But don't let me dissuade you from John Updike. For more writings by the author, click here. Thanks so much for joining me, and stay tuned for the next interactive book review here on Book Review TV.
Rabbit and his wife Janice are living in a small starter home in the suburbs of Brewer, PA, with their now 12-year-old son, Nelson. When Janice leaves Rabbit to stay with her lover, Greek car salesman Charlie Stavros, Rabbit, through a strange series of plot turns, takes in a rich young runaway from Connecticut named Jill, who pays her rent in Nookie. It isn't long before a friend of hers, a young black radical named Skeeter, ends up at Rabbit's house with Jill, Nelson, and he. He's on the lam from the cops. Skeeter engages Harry in debates about the war and race relations. The four of them make a scandalous household, emblematic of the summer of love's most confusing implications. An unforgiving house fire and Rabbit's sister Mim serve to upend the various living situations, and Rabbit and his wife end up reconciling. John Updike was born in Pennsylvania, the only child of Linda and Wesley Updike. His mother's attempts to be a published writer influenced the young Updike's own aspirations. I admired the writer's equipment, the typewriter eraser, the boxes of clean paper, he recalled. He graduated from Shillington High School as co-valedictorian and class president in 1950 and attended Harvard after receiving a full scholarship. At Harvard, he soon became a prolific contributor to the Harvard Lampoon. Updike married Mary E. Pennington, an art student at Radcliffe College in 1953. She accompanied him to Oxford, England, where he attended art school and where their first child, Elizabeth, was born in 1955. The couple had 3 more children together. Updike separated from his wife, Mary, in 1974 and moved to Boston, where he taught briefly at Boston University. 2 years later, the Updikes were divorced, and in 1977 he married Martha Ruggles Bernhard, settling with her and her 3 children in Beverly Farms, Massachusetts. Updike won an array of awards, including 2 Pulitzer Prizes for fiction, 2 National Book Awards, and 3 National Book Critics Circle Awards. In an autobiographical essay, Updike famously identified sex, art, and religion as the 3 great secret things in human experience. The Jesuit magazine America awarded him its Campion Award in 1997 as a distinguished Christian person of letters. He died of lung cancer at a hospice in Danvers, Massachusetts on the 27th of January 2009 at the age of 76. He had written 28 novels and had 7 grandchildren. And what does Babe play? All the good old ones. All show tunes. Up a lazy river, you're the top, thou swell, summertime, there are hundreds, thousands. Men from Indiana wrote them in Manhattan. They flow into each other without edges, flowing under black bridges of chords, thumped 6, 7 times as if Babe is helping the piano to remember a word it won't say, or spanking the silence, or saying, "Here I am, find me, find me." Her hands, all brown bone, hang on the keyboard, hushed like gloves on a table. She gazes up through blue dust to get herself into focus. She lets her hands fall into another tune. My Funny Valentine. Smoke gets in your eyes. I can't get started. Starting to hum along with herself now. Lyrics born in some distant smoke. Decades when Americans moved within the American dream, laughing at it, starving on it, but living it, humming it, the national anthem everywhere. Wise guys and hicks and straw boaters and bib overalls, fast bucks, broken hearts, penthouses in the sky, shacks by the railroad tracks, up and down, rich and poor, trolley cars, and the latest news by radio. Rabbit had come in on the end of it as the world shrank like an apple going bad, and America was no longer the wisest hick town within a boat ride of Europe, and Broadway forgot the tune, but here it all still was, in the music Babe played. The little stairways she climbed up and came tap-dancing down, twinkling in black, and there is no other music, not really, though Babe works in some Beatles songs, Yesterday and Hey Jude, Doin' It Rinky-Tink, her own style of ice to rattle in the glass. As Babe plays, she takes on swaying and leaning backwards. At her arm's ends, the standards go root back into ragtime. Rabbit sees circus tents and fireworks and farmers' wagons and an empty sandy river running so slow the sole motion is catfish sleeping beneath the golden skin.